And then here's my actual emulator. Here's the games that I have. We'll play some Donkey Kong Country. Turn my controller on. And you can have this set for PlayStation controller, Xbox controller. You can do anything, actually. As you can see, and that should be set. Yep, it is. I haven't really played too much off this. I just did it a little bit. Really, I did it for my daughter and any of my nephews, just family members and kids and whatnot that came over, so I had actual kid games. And then the other part too is I do love these Nintendo games too. At times off, it was just cool to have them. But I have not beat any of them yet because I haven't played them that much off it. Like I said, I do work full time. I'm a single dad. I only got so much time in the world. And I do work midnights. Alright, so here we are. On the mission here. Looks really good. Since we are playing on the Switch. Now bear with me here. I have not played this in a minute. Yep, I already knew it. Trying to figure out the buttons there. Can't grab that. No! I want that. But yeah, I can get pretty much any game I want. Oop, it's a little bit harder for some games though because you have to go on certain websites to get these, and a lot of times they end up taking them out. So you have to keep on searching so you can find the one that you're looking for. Say for the games that you're looking for that's actually valid. But yeah, I figured this was a cool little quest here video for you guys so you guys can see. You know, I know some shit. So if you guys definitely want to follow me and watch some of my content, I can definitely teach you guys some cool crafty shit. There's certain things I can't show you, so like this, I can't really show you exactly how this is done, unfortunately. Unless I will get a strike, and I already have 2 strikes already from music content, unfortunately, so... It's ridiculous because there's some of them I know I used was copyright music, but that's why they were short videos, and all the other ones either songs I made myself personally or they were copyright free music. But YouTube is a bitch. I have never had a problem like this in any other platform. I'm doing better on TikTok. TikTok I get way more views than I do on YouTube. So it's just how that goes. It's so weird. Facebook I do better, but Facebook I got a lot of people on there, so I already knew that. And even Instagram I'm doing kind of a little bit better, but that's friends and family too, so that would make sense. But the TikTok thing is really funny, how I'm doing better on that than I am on YouTube. And and I'm not kidding you, within a few hours I'm almost getting 100 views. And that's on long form content too as well. And on YouTube I'm getting a few, and that's because of that. It's because the people that they send it to are not the people I need to watch my content, and it's screwing me over. So I know it's definitely an algorithm issue. But the best thing I figured I could do is just keep doing this, and eventually I'll get the people that are actually the audience that I'm targeting for, you know. And once that synergizes with that, and YouTube actually, you know, recognizing what I'm trying to do here. And I know part of it's kind of hard on my part too, because I keep jumping from different content. It's going to make it hard for YouTube to set me on where it needs to put me at because I'm jumping around so much, and I understand that. I don't want to stick myself on one set of content because once you do that, you grow your audience, you're stuck. And I'm being honest with you, I got a lot more knowledge than just Helldivers. I got a lot more knowledge than just emulators. I have a lot more knowledge than just overclocking and undervolting. You know, so I didn't want to stick myself in just one little niche there because that would sell myself majorly short. It really would. And I didn't want to stick myself that way. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys take care now. Welcome everybody. And today, I got another special video for you. This one's going to be about from MSI Afterburner. And I'm going to show you how to use the curve editor to undervolt and overclock your graphics card. Now mine is an RTX 5080. So my graph is going to be a lot bigger and a lot more power level than yours, so don't get freaked out why yours don't look like mine. All you gotta do is look that up on the internet and you'll see about what your graph is gonna look like. Make sure you know your numbers and know your limits. Don't push it too far. I know exactly where my limits are. I literally did the overclock and undervolting for months. So this ain't just me looking at a video and making my own. I have done this for months. I've done a lot of testing and I know quite a bit about this stuff. But I'm going to show you the most quickest, easiest way to do this, and you're going to see how fast it is to do it, okay? Now, here we go. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up your MSI Afterburner. I already have one right here, but I'm going to show you like from scratch on how to do. So I'm going to open up just a new one, the default one here, as you can see. What you're going to do is, for me, my card can do from power limit 100, I can do 110. There's other cards that can go even higher. I've heard they can go to 125 and so on and so forth, but that's mine. For the clock, this is for the memory. This really has to do with how quick your card renders. You can read memory faster. It adjusts the speed of your graphics card dedicated video memory, your VRAM. It increases the value of your memory chips to proceed data faster, which helps the load of high-resolution textures more quickly, reduces stutters, and can boost gaming FPS. So that's what that slider does. You can run that one all the way to 2000. I have another one that's an overclock, really hard on the core overclock, so I had to tone down the memory, so I kept that one at 1000, because when I do that, man, it cuts me out. But if not, you can do that and just put that to 2000 and then start working on your core. Because we're going to start at default one. We're going to slide this memory all the way to 2000. Power, for me, 110, want max power. And then this we're not going to mess with because we're going to be doing it here, okay? Go to here. Now this is what the graph is. This is my default one, okay? Let me get that highlighted off here. So this is what it's going to look like for you. Your graph, though, is going to be probably, most likely, a lot smaller. It won't be as a steep incline as mine. And the reason why is because mine is a 5080. Mine is extremely powerful card. My card can run at 4K on max settings. And that's the nice thing of having a high-end graphics card, is that I don't have to sacrifice anything. My card can just straight up brute force the whole damn thing. And like the only thing that's even faster than mine is the 4090. And I'm pretty damn close to a 4090, especially mine, because mine is overclocked. But I still can't beat that 24 VRAM, obviously. But the core and everything else, I am very close to that speed. I'm probably within like 5%, if even less, depending on the game. But what we're going to do here is down here, as you can see, this is your voltage, okay? This is where we're going to set or the power of our graphics card. Okay? This is where I want to set it at. Now, I'm going to give you a few different tips here on, like, say, part of the voltage on what you want to do here. Because there's a few different ways you can do it. If you want to have more of an undervolt and you're not really worried and concerned about having the most power as possible here, I'm going to show you that. You're going to do 975, wind that all the way up till you get here. See how this dot is right there? It literally lines up with it. We're going to hold shift, click on that dot, and now we can move it. Okay, you're going to be able to move the whole thing. If you move one dot, that means you didn't do it right. Hold shift first and click on the dot and hold. And you're going to drag it up. And as you can see on the left side here, it's going to be your frequency. That's your core clock. That's going to put it how fast your core clock is going to be. This is your overclock now. So we're doing an overclock and an undervolt at the same time. That's what's cool about this graph. That's why everybody likes using MSI Afterburner compared to other overclocks. Because this one is so goddamn good, and it's so easy too as well. And this works. You don't have to have an MSI graphics card. My card is a PNY card. And they do have their own. I believe it's called Velocity X, and I've used it before, and that was the reason why I did. But when I heard how good this one is and I got good at it, I switched and went to this and never went back. And then you can see that RTSS too. That's all under MSI Afterburner. That's why I use this, because it's just, it has everything. It's just, this is a really damn good software. I would suggest everybody use this. You don't have to use it as a high overclock. So if you're scared of, burning your card or anything like that, you could do a nice soft undervolt. And that's going to save your graphics card, actually, so I don't understand where you get that from. And a high overclock I can understand if you don't have something like I have, where it's a very designed setup. I literally knew I was going to overclock this computer when I got it. So I had this all set up that way. This is not a normal Best Buy computer. You're not going to get this anywhere around here. All these parts are very high-end. My motherboard is, which helps with overclocking, too, as well. We're going to go back here, pick where you want. I'm going to hold shift again. Click on the dot that I'm looking for. So for this being 975 voltage, we'll do, I'm trying to think here. Nice soft one. Okay, normally your overclock could be anywhere. My base one is way down here. You can get them up through here. But I would say you could do, let's try 2800. You can go way higher than this. I'm throwing at 3100. But this is a pretty decent overclock, and you're getting undervolt too. I don't want to put it too high, even if I wanted to, is because I'm setting that voltage at 975. If you put it too high, it's going to cut off anyways because you're not giving it the power. It's like, I need more power, you know. So it's a give and take. You can't just do whatever the fuck you want. Your card will cut, and you just do it again until you get it right. So now we have this, right? We're still not done yet. Now we just set it. Now what we're going to do is, you see for that dot that we just set here, we're going to hold shift again, go right next to it. Not the dot itself, but right next to it. Double click. Actually, like triple click. I just do it a few times and then hold and then drag it all the way across. It's going to be a highlight. Then let go. Okay? Once you have that, we're going to go back to the next dot after the one that we just raised that you see highlighted here. Just the very next one. Click on the very next dot. Okay? And just press enter twice. Bam, bam. There you go. See how it just flattened out it just like a plateau? And the whole reason for this is when you do this, is you're basically telling your system that once it hits to this frequency and voltage, you want it at that constant. And bam. And that's how you do it. And this is how it's done. You can do it at any level. I could do it down here, up here, or anything. And then say if you want to just change that, say you don't want to do all that, right? All you got to do is just get your dot again. So hold shift, hold that dot. Let's make sure we kind of get the actual dot here. I know that could be a pain in the ass. See? And move it again. So say if I want it down a little bit, not a big problem. And do it again, and I'll show you how fast this is. Bam. 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 Done. And you got yourself an overclock. And you can move this wherever you want, okay? That's up to you. That's why it's telling you a number, because it's plus 141. But I actually look at the actual frequency, the core frequency, and then the voltage here. And then you can, like I said, if you want to do them over here, you can pull them over here. My other core one that I have is actually a little bit more powerful, but it's still a curve editor one. It still has an undervolt on it. But that's exactly how it's done. So once you have this, right, you just exit out. And then what you're going to do, and after you click apply, you're going to click save. And then mine is for number 2, because that's the one I was doing this one under. Click 2. And then now, see? It's there. Like every time I click on 2, it's saved on what we just did. And I can prove that by clicking on a curve editor. Boom. Same one. And that's how it's done. And it's just going to show you your old one here. That's your old one. And you can see how much more power that what I did here. It even climbed up over here more. I got way more power in here. And then it flattens out here. But the difference is that that's a constant power instead of it just keep climbing. That's where the Undervolt is there. Because I'm getting this power at here, and you see how low that is, so there is more power there. So it's showing you before, or what the default graph was and what I just did. And I could even make this stronger too. I'm just showing you an example. And then if you want to see one that I actually have, it's this one right here. There you go. Look at that baby. That's the one I use. It's pretty strong there. That's the one I use. And as you can see, mine is way up here, so I gave it more voltage on it because I didn't want to do it as an extreme undervolt. Because obviously the lower you go off that, the more you're losing power off that, where I'm trying to raise the core up. So like I said, it's a give and take relationship there. You can only go so far with it. And besides that, that is it. You are good to go. Make sure you keep this up though. So when you play games and everything, this has to stay up just like this. Unless you have a second monitor, if you can do that. But just don't exit it out or anything like that. I believe you can set it up where you can minimize it, but I just don't do it. I just leave it up. And then once you're done though, like say when you're done playing, always make sure you have a default one. I always leave the number 1. Normally I leave 1 and 2, but I was showing you 2 so I could do this. But if you want to always leave 1 on there as default. So I just click on 1 and click apply. And like I was stating before, is because when you're watching movies, surfing the web, watching YouTube or anything like that, you don't want your card running at full speed like you're running on a max path tracing, max settings. So that's the reason why you don't want to hurt your system for no reason when it's running at full power. It's like I was telling you for that power management. Make sure you keep that on normal. You don't need to have that where your system's running at full power constantly. That's just stupid. And then here's another little tip for you. If you guys want to change that, say if you don't want, you just want it on default and restart, but you already have like your saved ones all filled in, right? I'm going to show you. So you just go to 2. That was the one we just did. And I'll even show you again. You can see that same graph. This is what you do. You're going to click on reset, save, 2, and then apply. And watch. See? Now 2 is back to normal. It's set back to default. And that's about it, as in when it comes to all this here. This is on the same software as I was showing you guys earlier about for the RTSS, which is for River Tuner. That's another part of this. It's a very amazing software. That's why I want to show this, because it's a lot more than just overclocking. They have a lot of neat features on this software. It's been out for a little while, but it's so good. It gets better and better. I just really want to show this knowledge off, especially for the undervolting, because this is definitely something that people really should look into on it, because it can save your graphics card. It'll save your power. If you guys are all about that, you don't want power hungry like I'm doing here, you could do the opposite way. That's what the Undervolt is for. And you can still get your card to run a little faster too as well. That Undervolt can actually pull your card a little better, especially for the RX cards, for the AMD cards. I've heard Undervolts for those cards actually work tremendously good. It's definitely something to look into, okay? And you guys take care now. Hope you guys enjoyed.